And I think it's a McLaren that's going out first. We've got somebody else going in front. It's a Red Bull out first. It's MK5 on bags. Apologies if I get any names wrong. It is the first time I've done this league, so yep, excuse me if I do get any names wrong. They all look not too bad. Quite a rare sight of rain in the Algarve. Normally one of the sunnier tracks. One that's very challenging with the hills and undulations, which can cause a few spins even in the dry. So in the wet, I'm sure it'll be a test. We're going to stay with MK5 for now because he's the first one that's gone out, so it'll be the first one to set a hot lap, and somebody's off already. I think it's an Aston Martin. It's Ninja, and Ninja's out of the session. Ninja has crashed and is out of the session as MK5 starts his first hot lap and the first hot lap of the session. Get rid of that. So yes, Ninja will be starting from the back as he's crashed out on his out lap, it looked like. Oh, he's invalidated. MK5 has invalidated, so the next one round is Easy Life. And a couple more just behind. I'm not sure who's on the fast lap and who's on the out lap at the moment, but Easy Life will be the first one to come and set a time. And that is a 1:30.7. A 1:30.7 for Easy Life, and that is beaten straight away by Levi Hughes in the Alfa Romeo with a 1:27.9, and that's beaten by King Kong in the Red Bull 1:27.7. Sainsy 1:28.5. So Easy Life's banker lap was not so good. Couple of seconds off the pace of the other three, but he's got a lap on the board as UJGC in the other McLaren goes fastest, 1:27.1, and Matteo is just behind in the Haas, 1:27.3. It'll be interesting to see what the weather does, whether it dries out and everyone has to get another lap in on slicks, whether somebody gambles for slicks, whether it stays into the whole session, who knows. And then of course what the weather will be like for the race itself. And TSL Syme there with a 1:27.6. So 1:27 seems to be the par time at the moment, with Smug Git, great name, going 128.4 in 6th place in the Alfa Romeo. There goes 50 Gent. Great name again. 127.5 for 50 Gent and into the top 3. Seemingly very well matched for pace so far, with the top 6 all in the 127s. We have a Ferrari, and he's got an invalid lap there, Boris Johnson. And invalidates again. McLarens are still out. Sainsy has just gone up to 3rd, 127.5. And UJGC betters his time, 127.1. And we've got a yellow in sector 2. It's just somebody going slowly after. And oh, the 127 has been broken. TSL Syme goes 126.9. And Swanton Bomb is now at the top in the Alpine. 126.6 for Swanton Bomb in the Alpine. More people set in their first time. Ben Lane is up there, 127.1. He's into 4th place. There's a Ferrari going very slowly. I don't know if he's had an accident or is just letting people through. Always difficult to try and stay out of the way of people on fast laps, of course. And Matteo has left the session, whether he's disconnected or just had enough of qualifying. He's currently sitting 6th. If he's disconnected, hopefully he can get back in. Up the hill comes the Sloth and goes 13th for the 127.9. Here comes Scornful Griffin starting his first flying lap. Almost everybody now has set a time. I saw a flash of purple for Scornful Griffin, so he must have started well. Very busy on track at the moment. And Matteo's rejoined, that's good. Always the worst thing to happen during a league race or quali session is disconnecting halfway through. So good that he's back in quite quickly. As we watch Scornful Griffin come into now the last long sweeping right-hander. And up the hill towards the line. Oh, he's invalidated. He's invalidated. Smug Git goes fastest as Eddie invalidates as well. That last corner just catching some of the drivers out in the wet. Smug Git 126.6. Now top of the leaderboard and on pole at the moment, but still another 6 minutes to go. Both Ferraris yet to set a time, as they've both invalidated their last attempts. But here comes Boris Johnson. And he's spun! Boris Johnson has hit the wall there. And he's going to have to crawl back into the pits. And he's got to go round again, I think. Has he missed the pit entrance? Yes, he has. So Boris sets that lap as a 140 after that spin and crash there. Oh, there's a ghosting Haas on the track there. That's Matteo, and I think there's been a glitch there because his car's trapped on the track. It is ghosting, but it's not what you want to see. Hopefully that can fix itself because it looks problematic. Matteo's left and rejoined again. Hopefully it will eventually... Well, what can you say about this game? There have been some ridiculous glitches this year. And it appears we've got another one here. Who have we got coming round? The Mercedes. 126.8 for the Mercedes of Joker. As Boris comes into the pits, the Sloth is coming round and going in as well. 50 Gent on an invalid lap. Who's next to come round? Is that Smug again? No, he's coming out of the pits. So it must be Levi who's going into the pits. How about Al Newt? He's 7 seconds over, so he's heading for the pits, I think. Diving out the way. And there goes Kent Chaos. Up the hill. And a 127.5. Doesn't improve very much in terms of positions. He's 14th. As UJGC retakes pole with a 126.4. And it's a 126.6 for Syme, who's 4th. And Joker takes pole. 126.2. Conditions are definitely improving, as the 127s were the early part of the session, and now we've got 6 drivers in the 126s. We've got an AlphaTauri coming around next. Not that one, the other one. It's 50 Gent. And he's on an invalidated lap. Here comes Scornful Griffin to start what will be his first lap, if it's a valid one. And Kent Chaos jumps up a little bit, I think, there. Up to 10th. The 127.2. Matteo's having all kinds of connection issues. His car's in the middle of nowhere. And Swanton Bomb, 126.1, is now back on pole. 1 minute remains. And let's see who gets round to start another lap as we watch Scornful Griffin putting his lap on the board, and it will be a 126.2. He goes up to second. Wonderful lap. Here's Eddie, the only one left to not set a time apart from Ninja, who did hit a wall but said in the chat that his controller desynced, or his wheel. So a tough one from the back for him today. And that is the session. So let's see who we've got. Oh, and it's red for Eddie. So Eddie's not going to set a time. And Boris Johnson has crashed again on the right at the end of the session. Got a Mercedes coming up the hill now, and that's the Sloth. He goes 9. MK5 on bags takes pole. If Swanton's not on a hot lap, so here comes Ben. No, sorry, that was the wrong AlphaTauri. We had 50 Gent. 126.8. UJ is still going. He's 2 seconds over. So it looks as though MK5 on bags in the Red Bull has taken pole position. We are waiting on a couple more finishers. One of them is UJ, who is in the pits in 5th, and that is everybody. So your pole position, MK5 on bags in the Red Bull, with Swanton Bomb in 2nd and Scornful Griffin 3rd, Joker in 4th, UJGC in 5th, Ben Lane 6th, and all of those within 0.3 of a second. Smug getting 7th, with Syme in 8th, the Sloth 9th, and round off the top 10 there is 50 Gent, with Sainsy in 11th. We'll get through to the race, but I will just go through the rest of the grid for you there. Sainsy 11th, Levi 12th, Kent Chaos in the Williams 13, King Kong in the Red Bull 14, Matteo in the Haas 15, unfortunate for him with some issues. Al Newt in the Alpine is 16, with Easy Life in 17 in the McLaren. Boris Johnson in 18th in the Ferrari, with Ninja in the Aston Martin 19, and Eddie in the Ferrari not setting times on the back row. Race director, do I? So an excellent intermediate session there of qualifying, and now we see what the weather's like for the race, and we see more rain. We see more rain, and it looks quite heavy. So could this be a wet to dry? Could this be a full wet? Strategy will play a huge part here. Here we go then. Formation lap to start us off. Very good mix of cars at the front, with no sets of teammates that close together at the front. Just the two Ferraris at the back, reasonably close together in 18th and 20th. Everyone's on the intermediate tyres. I'm hoping Matteo is able to get back in his car after the glitch in qualifying. We'll keep an eye on the penalties for you as well. I know they can often make or break situations in these league races. You might get to the line first, but have some penalties and get downgraded a little. So they come round on a very slick, slippery looking track. Warming the tyres will be very important. In fact, we've got somebody in trouble already on the formation lap. Matteo ghosting, and Ninjas as well. We've got some connection problems, I think. Let's see then, here we go. See how many get disqualified for parking here. Swanton. And Kent Chaos and King Kong. Just 3. Oh, they're going to wait for Ninja's car to come all the way around. I think he's AI, because I think it said he left the session. Maybe some connection issues. we'll keep an eye on that for you if we can. Luckily the AIs will ghost, so hopefully no problems caused there. Okay. Here we go then. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and away we go. And here we go. MK5 on bags, and what a start from UJGC. He's gone from 5th to lead. Unbelievable start from the McLaren. And is everyone getting through there without any issues? We are okay. Matteo again is having some connection problems, and King Kong is right at the back. There's been some collisions there. King Kong's caught up in it, and Al Newt as we go back to the front, and UJGC, what a start. And Easy Life has crashed, I believe, and he's got a 10-second penalty. So there's something's gone really badly wrong there. He's in the gravel, and he's got a 10-second penalty as well. So as one McLaren driver has a great start, the other one has a nightmare start. UJGC, he's already managed to gap everyone by 2.5 seconds. He started 5th on the grid, and he just absolutely flew off the line. Ben Lane is 2nd in the AlphaTauri, with pole sitter MK5 now in 3rd. Swanton Bomb is 4th, with Joker in 5th. Scornful Griffin is 6th, and somehow Boris Johnson from the back of the grid is 7th. That's unreal. We'll stick with the leaders here as Ben Lane and MK5 go into the corner. What a start from Boris Johnson from the 18th on the grid. He's gone all the way up to 7th as Smug Git makes a move on Ninja's AI, and King Kong has overtaken Al Newt. Easy Life is in the pits, and Smug Git gets the first penalty for track limits, and also loses out to Sainsy. They're having a battle, and Smug Git has got a penalty, and Ninja's AI is now fighting Smug Git as well. Ninja's back in. Hopefully we can get him back in his car. No such luck for Matteo, I don't think. As the Sloth takes Ninja's AI. Yeah, Matteo's still ghosting. I think he's we look at the pit stop strategies. They think it's going to be Inters all the way, as UJGC is just leaving everyone for dust. He's 3.5 seconds left ahead, and at this rate he's going to be coming to lap his teammate sooner rather than later. Ben is managing to fend off MK5 at the moment, with Swanton Bomb right behind him. King Kong is starting his recovery drive from the back. He's just overtaken Eddie, and Al Newt might fancy following him. Eddie having a tough time of it, and he is overtaken by Al Newt. So they think inters for the tyres. Who knows, it might dry out. Doesn't look like it's raining very much on one camera angle, but then it looks like it's tipping down on the other. So Matteo persisting with rejoining. I'm hoping that he will be able to get in his car and actually drive some of this race, because a bit unfortunate really. Boris building on that good start, staying in 7th as UJTC sets another fastest lap. It just seems to be on a different planet today. Of course, quite a difficult place to overtake in, as MK5 on bags gets a time penalty for track limits. And I think Ben in front of him got a warning at the same time because he was very wide as well. Some very close racing amongst the 2nd to 5th places. We'll try to keep with the closest battles on track, and obviously anything else goes, anyone goes off or anything, we'll try and let you know about that, and any overtakes as well in the lower field. We don't want to concentrate just on the top 5, of course, but then we don't want to ignore just how good a job UJGC is doing to already be 5 seconds clear within the first 4 laps. And he was 5th on the grid. Pretty incredible start, and sets another fastest lap as Ben Lane goes very wide there. And could that give a chance to MK5 on bags down into the first corner? No, it doesn't. He's still right behind him though. We'll keep going with this battle as it's the closest on track, with Joker having a look at Swanton just behind, and Boris getting close to Scornful Griffin as well. Up and over the hills they come. And yes, everybody reasonably close, but no overtakes happening at the moment, which will mean that these penalties early doors will be costly. UGJC sets yet another fastest lap of the race. He seems to be improving it every lap, and he's just driving off into the distance, now 5.5 seconds clear of the field as the Sloth picks up a time penalty. They are very easily collected here. Not quite as easily as in France, which is probably the one where they are most prevalent, but they are easy to pick up for running wide here, especially in the wet conditions. As we continue to watch the 2nd to 5th battle, and it seems that Swanton has got a bit closer to MK5 on this lap, with Ben just pulling a little bit clear in the AlphaTauri. Not enough to be able to breathe easily, but just a little tiny bit. Just one mistake from any of these drivers could cost them several positions here, as 50 Gent is taking Matteo's AI, and UGJC has just set yet another fastest lap, but Scornful Griffin has set the fastest lap from 6th position, so the track must be drying, is what I can... There is still rain on my screen, but The track must be drying for laps to be continually improving as we go along. So could this be one of those crazy races where tyre selection is the key? We're on lap 7 of 33 and we still have all 20 drivers. Well, we have 20 cars. We're missing a couple of drivers who are in AI because of connection issues. That's Matteo in 10th and Ninjas in 17th. So let's have a look. Let's see if Ninjas managed to get in. He did. Ninjas is back in. So that's good. He's glitching a little on my screen, but he's in. Matteo is... Oh, Matteo's now in as well. Excellent. So yes, we have a full complement. 20 drivers, all still going. And UJGC has again set the fastest lap of the race. And is now 6 seconds clear of Ben, who has MK5 making a dive on him here. And MK5 on Bags. Is he going to make it stick? He goes around the outside. Great racing from the two of them to not make contact. And he makes the move stick. He's bided his time and almost a switchback for Ben. Is Ben going to make the switchback here? Excellent racing between the two of them. Ben tries to go around the outside and is forced wide. And this might open it up to Swanton. Swanton and Joker are just looking, waiting to see if they can get anywhere with this. An excellent pass by MK5 to take second place back. And Ben remains third. The other two couldn't quite get involved. And Scornful Griffin is now right up behind these to join in the fun. UJGC set to 128.5 now. The track is definitely drying. His pace compared to everyone else so far is absolutely electric. And he is nearing his teammate to lap him. Swanton right in on Ben now, but he's got to look out behind him as there's a train of cars. They've all caught up, all the way down to Simon, 8th, have all caught this battle now. Boris is in there and Scornful Griffin, Joker, Swanton, Ben and MK5 who's just taken second place. All within a second. And then a bit of a gap to 50 Gent in 9th. Easy Life pits and gets a 5-second penalty. He might be giving it up. This might be a retirement in the pits. MK5 on Bags, 127.8. The track is drying. Easy Life is making the gamble. He's on slicks, so we'll keep an eye on his pace. He's taken the medium tyre. He was well detached at the back anyway, so it may just be an experiment to see how it is for his teammates' sake rather than anything else. But the lap times are definitely improving as Smug Git and Matteo running very closely there. And Smug Git makes the move, does he? He does indeed. And his teammate almost follows him past Matteo, but is then backed into Sainsey. Some big battling in the midfield as well as that battle for the podium. And UGJC's gap has actually been reduced now to 6.5 from 7 seconds. MK5 definitely has the pace now that he's free of the AlphaTauri, but he has got a penalty. This is drying out, I think. And another fastest lap for Scornful Griffin. As Syme is overtaking Boris Johnson. And Smudgit got a penalty there. Let's have a quick look at the penalties. Easy Life, 25 seconds of penalties, and he's off. Easy Life is off. And it's certainly too early for the dry tyres, folks. Easy Life is not having an easy life today. And he's got 25 seconds of penalties. And he's a lap down. Smudgit with 8 seconds of penalties. The Sloth and MK5 with 3 each. So let's go back to Swanton chasing Ben. Apologies, I've been on this battle most of the time, but it is the closest on track. And it is also for a podium place at the moment. MK5 on bags now showing his pace. And Syme gets a fastest lap there, 1:27.1. We're now getting towards the times we were hitting in qualifying. About a second off the pole time. And Swanton is right up underneath the gearbox of Ben there. But he can't find a way past. And Matteo gets a time penalty for track limits. And Matteo's now battling with Levi and goes wide. He's come back on. That looks like maybe he should get that position back. I'm not sure. I only caught the end of the move really. But Matteo was definitely wide off the track as Chaos now picks up a penalty. And Easy Life is now on 28 seconds of penalties. It's not been a great day for him, and wide goes Ben and gets a penalty. Ben Lane gets the penalty. We saw it, he just went wide there, and MK5 on bag now on 1:26.3, and he's within 4 seconds of the leader. So as this track dries up and now free of the AlphaTauri that was holding him up, MK5 is showing the pace that put him on pole position as Smudgit overtakes 50 Gent for a 9th spot as Levi does get the move done on Matteo. Penalties started to stack up now though. 8 drivers with penalties. We've still got the full 20 running. MK5 is soon going to be right up and catching UGJC. Oh, we've got a yellow in sector 2, and the Sloth, I believe, has had a problem and dropped some places. Didn't see what happened there, but the Sloth has dropped down a few places, and no, it's pit time. It's pit time. Here we go. UGJC, MK, Ben, Swanton, Joker, Simon and Boris are all in the pits. Scornful has gone on another lap and they're all going to hard tyres to in theory finish the race. Let's see if Scornful, the overcut, or if they've all undercut him. This is going to be hugely interesting. Nearly the whole field has pitted on that lap. Everyone's going to hards except Boris Johnson and Smug Git have gone to mediums. And is Eddie pitting also? He is. So Scornful is the only one, along with Easy Life, who is a lap down or more. So Scornful, DRS now enabled. So we're going dry racing. Scornful has set a purple sector 2, so he's doing his best to get in the pit and get out again. He's 21 seconds ahead at the moment. This is going to be hugely interesting to see where Scornful comes out for having that extra lap. Is it going to benefit him? Is it going to hurt him? UJ is in second. MK5, Ben, Swanton, Joker and Simon, they're all coming round. And where is Scornful going to come out? They're still changing his tyres. He's let loose now. And he's passed by UG. He's passed by MK5. He's passed by Ben just. Oh no, he spun on the exit. Scornful spins on the exit. I don't know if Ben maybe sideswiped him. I'm not sure if there was contact, but Scornful was going to jump a couple of players, a couple of drivers there, but he's now down in 8th spot in the Haas after that spin, and his tyres are not going to be thankful for that early spin when coming out of the pits. Ninjas is pitting now, I think, mate, and he's gone to Inters again. I think he might have had a bit of a problem there. And another penalty for MK5, just as he's starting to catch UJ. This has spread a few people out a bit, even though Joker and Swanton seem to be glued together. And we've got a yellow flag, and it's again Easy Life who is really having a problem, and a 1:21.7 for UJ now. So a full 5 seconds faster as Eddie picks up a time penalty. UJ a full 5 seconds faster than the pole time, so you can tell how quickly it's dried out. And these hard tyre runners will be looking to go to the end as Matteo sets the fastest lap of 1:21.7 in the Haas. Good to see after all the connection problems that he managed to get in and drive. Nothing more frustrating than when the game won't let you play. Still a train of cars in the midfield, in the lower positions. Everyone pitting on that one lap apart from Scornful, who then suffered a spin coming out of the pits as King Kong gets a penalty. And UJ again and MK5 are both showing the pace as Levi overtakes Al Newt. Oh, and Al Newt hit him. Al Newt just drove straight into the back of Levi there. As Swanton picks up a penalty now. The Al Newt just drove straight into the back of Levi. I think he's got damage. Yeah, he's lost one of his front wing plates there. A Smug Git goes fastest, a 120.8. The medium tyres helping him, and King Kong overtakes Sainsy there. And just behind that, Kent is going for 50 gent and makes it stick. And there's a Mercedes getting involved as well. That's Sloth. And they're almost 3 wide. Sloth decides to just back out of that one and see what scraps he can pick up as Kent makes it stick and Sainsy retakes King Kong. Eddie has now overtaken Al Newt because Al Newt... Oh, a spin! A spin for Eddie. Commentator's curse. So sorry, Eddie. That's a commentator's curse right there. Al Newt went into the pits to fix his damage. Oh, Matteo's disconnected again. Unfortunate. There's some real action in the last couple of laps, especially in the lower midfield, as 50 Gent will fancy a go at Kent as they come round into the pit straight. A little bit of weaving to break the slipstream. He's going inside and he's going to make that stick quite comfortably. And there's Sloth having a look up the inside of Kent as well. And gets a time penalty for track limits at the same time. So easy, especially when you're looking to overtake, to just pick up one of those penalties. And Levi gets one just behind as well. The penalties are stacking up now, which is making things look very good for... And we've got a Ninja has got a 10-second for track limits. I think he went off. And we've got a yellow in sector 1 as well. That's Easy Life again. He's off again. And Ben Lane and Swanton are battling now. Both with DRS wide open. 3 wide into the corner. And Joker takes the position. Joker with a double overtake on Ben and Swanton. Incredible move. Brilliant move as they all come over the hill. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drivers left with no penalties. And it's looking very rosy in front for UJ as he's one of them. But we'll stick with this battle. The 4 cars now. 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. They've been dropped by the front 2. MK5 now a couple of seconds behind. And we've got another yellow flag out. And I believe Kent may have lost a couple of places there on that one. We'll go back to the battle as they come in here to the first corner. And that's sector 1. Is that easy again? It is. He's having a really torrid time and just causing some yellow flags to be thrown. The problem I think the likes of Boris and Smug are going to have is they will probably need to pit again. I do not fancy their chances of doing 20-ish laps on the medium tyre. I might be wrong, of course. They could prove me wrong. But I'd much rather be one of the hard tyre runners right now. 6 laps old. 12, 13 laps to go. And Swanton is right on the gearbox of Ben. Is he going to get in with DRS this time? As Scornful overtakes Boris in the background, but Swanton cannot get the move done on Ben. Matteo with the fastest lap. So unfortunate for him. He's when he's been in, he's had very good pace, but he's just been in and out of the lobby with connection issues, which means he's 10th. And Swanton and Syme now battling. Swanton's inability to get past Ben has backed him in now to the Williams driver. And King Kong's recovery drive continues to go well. He's up to 11th now as Sainsy runs very deep in the corner and gets a 3-second penalty for his troubles. King Kong from the first corner had some troubles, ended up at the back. He's 10 seconds behind, but he's now just one place off the points. So good recovery drive from him. Boris Johnson has settled now in 8th after a good, and that's Easy's life again going off. Boris has settled in 8th after an amazing start where he went from 18th to 7th in the first lap. And still Swanton looks and looks and looks as Matteo picks up a penalty. Swanton looks and looks and looks, but Ben is defending so well. He did so for most of the wet section against MK5 and held him up a lot, and he's now defending very well, and MK5 picks up another penalty. This may back him into off the podium, depending on. He's now 9 seconds, so yeah, he's going to be right in amongst this on the timings. As Matteo overtakes Smug Git, he runs a bit wide, but he gets it done. And up into 9th place. But Smug's making a run back on him around the inside. And Smug wins the place back around the inside. Good move there from Smug Git. But Matteo will have the DRS. Smug pulling right over to the inside to try and cover him off. Matteo trying to go the long way round. Good defending there from Smug. And Ben and Swanton, is it finally happening? No, Ben manages to stay in front. Unbelievable driving. Great defending. And we've got somebody's off. Somebody's off in Sector 1. I believe it was Levi. Levi Hughes off in Sector 1, and that's going to do his chances no good at all. He's down in 16th place. As Matteo and Smug battle continues, as does Swanton right on the tail. Here we go, he's surely going to get in this time with DRS. The DRS opens on the Alpine, but somehow the AlphaTauri has enough straight line speed to repel him. There was another penalty there for Matteo. Syme behind, just biding his time, waiting for a mistake. Or maybe a double like Joker pulled off. Eddie gets a time penalty. Joker has now pulled a second and a half clear of this battle. I'm hugely impressed by how clean this race has been. Starting in the wet, not a lot of collisions or anything like that. No DNFs so far. No safety cars. Very, very impressed. The one thing is the penalties are stacking up, but it's a very easy track for that to happen on. As Swanson again comes into the straight, right behind as they come up the hill. DRS open, but this time Simon has got a really good run on him and thinks better of sending it up the outside. But Simon had the drive that time, but stays behind. Matteo and Smug get at it again, and Matteo goes round the outside, and that becomes the inside, and he gets the place, does he? Does he? This is going to be tight. He does get the place, but Smug's going for it. The Ferrari gets out the way, he's being lapped. And Smug won't give this up. But Matteo does make it stick for now. Cracking battle between those two. They've swapped places, I think, 4 or 5 times. And let's have another look now then at Swanton. Is he finally going to get alongside? No, he isn't. It doesn't look like he is. It must be hugely frustrating to be stuck on the gearbox of that AlphaTauri. But all credit to Ben, he's defending brilliantly against 2 cars behind him with DRS. He's not had the DRS from Joker for quite a few laps now, so really, really good drive from him. We'll take a quick look at the penalties, of course, because that'll affect it. But those 3, Simon knows he doesn't have to pass either of these 2 if the penalties remain the same, as he is one of the clean drivers. We've got only 5 drivers clean of penalties. That's UJ in front. That's Simon, Scornful Griffin, Boris Johnson and 50 Gent are without penalties. Here we go again down the straight. We're on lap 27 now, 33. And we've got a yellow in sector 1. I believe that might be one of the back markers again. Simon happily sitting there behind these 2, knowing that the 3-second penalties they've each got will promote him up. Joker needs to get a little bit closer to MK5, as he has a 3 and MK5 has 9 seconds of penalties, as Easy Life is up to over the 30-second mark now, I believe. Oh no, he's on 29. I have to apologise. But yeah, Easy Life not having an easy life on this track. I may have said that more than once, but I love a pun. So then, 5 or so laps left to go. And it's UJ GC who has led throughout, jumping off from 5th on the grid to lead into the first corner and driving away into the distance. And we've got somebody's got a problem there. I believe that again was one of the back markers, and Eddie picks up another penalty. In second, it's MK5 on Bags, who's got 6 seconds of penalties more than the 3 drivers behind him, but he is 7 seconds clear of the driver behind him, who is Joker in the Mercedes, who pulled off a terrific double overtake on Ben Lane and Swanton, who have been glued together throughout this race. And Swanton must be sick of the sight at the back of that AlphaTauri as they again come around the final corner. And Syme, just biding his time with no penalties, knows that he'll jump these on timings. Scornful Griffin is 7th with Boris Johnson in 8th. And Ben Lane has spun! It's a spin for Ben Lane, and finally Swanton has got by, but it's not the way he would have liked to, because Smudgit does have to pit. Smudgit does have to pit again, and he's going to lose 10th place to King Kong. And Sainsy also passes him. He's going to have a quick run on the soft tyres, I assume, to try and get a fastest lap perhaps. But he's dropped right down to 15th, and it looks like his hope of finishing in the top 10 are gone. Ben Lane has dropped to 7th with that spin. Scornful and Syme go ahead. And now we've got everybody sort of spread out. Syme quite happy to sit behind Swanton. Scornful is doing his best to try and get within 3 seconds of Swanton to steal that place. As we go into the closing stages of this race, all 20 drivers still running. Let's have a look at leader interval. There's a few cars that have been lapped, but as they ghost, it doesn't affect too much. We'll keep you with Syme at the moment, as he's the closest to another car. Keep an eye on Smug, see if he can do anything with those soft tyres, maybe get a fastest lap. As Ninjas picks up another. Fastest lap is currently Matteo, a 1:20.7. So we'll see if that's enough for an extra point. Oops. Scornful now closing up a little bit on Syme. But as we've seen throughout this race, closing up and passing are two very different things. And Smudgit, as I predicted, 1:19.5 takes that fastest lap, but if he's not in the top 10, it won't be a bonus point, unless the rules are different than real world rules. So just a couple of laps to go now then. And UJ is comfortably in front. It is only 2 seconds, but with 9 seconds of pens for MK5, his chances of winning are reliant completely on UJ doing something very silly. He looks like he will stay on the podium as he's 8 seconds clear of Joker. But more penalties could make that change. So Scornful can't get much closer to Syme. Syme's happy to stay behind Swanton, who's just lapped his teammate Al Newt, and Syme is going to do the same now. And a yellow in sector 3, nothing really going on there. And on to the final lap now. Goes UJ. We'll stay with him as a lot of the others are nicely spaced out. Scornful getting a bit closer to Syme, but I think it's going to be too little too late as he laps Al Newt as well. He's got DRS, but he's not going to be able to make a dive here. So into the final sector. Very shortly comes UJGC, who has led from the front in the McLaren, and now comes round the final sweeping right-hander up the hill to the finish line to win in Portugal. UJGC takes the checkered flag. MK5 is second. Joker is third. Swanton is... In fact, Joker drops because of Syme stayed within the time. So Syme, his patience paid off and he took third place. Joker fourth. Scornful gets fifth ahead of Swanton. Ben Lane is seventh with Boris in eighth and Matteo in ninth. And we await King Kong coming across the line for the final point. Unless he's got too many penalties. Smug overtakes 50 Gent on the final lap. Sainsey finishes 11th. The Sloth is 12th. 50 Gent gets that place back off Smug because of penalties. So 50 Gent 13th, Smug 14th, Kent Chaos 15th, Levi Hughes 16, Al Newt 17, and we just wait for Eddie to finish. He's a lap or two down and he finishes 18th with Ninjas and finally Easy Life rounding off 20 completions, no DNFs. Boris Johnson takes the driver of the day after that terrific start from 18th up to 7th. He ended up finishing 8th, I believe. Here they come out onto the podium then, and it's UJGC who takes the win from MK5 in second and Syme in third in the Williams. A very patient drive as Swanton and Ben scrapped it out in front but picked up penalties. A very clean drive from UJ and from Syme to pick up no penalties at all. That rounds off Portimao in Portugal for the Dynamic Racing Series, and apparently it's raining again. We will just have a look through quickly your finishing positions. UJGC takes the win from 5th on the grid, with MK5 on bags in 2nd in the Red Bull. Syme runs off the podium in 3rd in the Williams, with Joker in 4th in the Mercedes. Scornful Griffin is 5th in the Haas. Swanton finishes 6th in the Alpine, a frustrating evening for him, with Ben Lane, his tormentor-in-chief, in 7th after a spin in the AlphaTauri. Boris Johnson finishes 8th, takes the driver of the day after starting 18th. Matteo battled through a lot of connection problems and finished 9th, with King Kong recovering from last place to round off the points in 10th. The fastest lap went to Smug Git, who finished 14th. And that is it from me, Blobby Butler, here for the DRS. Hopefully, I'll be able to join them again soon and do some more races on a Monday night. A race at 8 PM GMT. And yeah, drop me a message and I'll get you in touch with them if you would like to join in. That's it from me. Drop a follow and a like if you've enjoyed the stream. I do some attempts myself to race as well, which never goes that well. I race in a different league, usually on a Thursday, so join me for that if you would like. Drop us a like and a follow, and I'll see you next time. Thank you very much.